So welcome to my channel. This is Brittany, aka Brett Inspires. I got my really good friend Ashley with me today, and she's gonna share with you guys some really great tips on how to keep your vibration high, how to stay in a high consciousness. I mean, she's a master of this. So we're just gonna get into some conversation. The title of this video, Heaven or Hell, which one are you living in?
But first, I think before we get into it, maybe we start off with some mimosas.
Oh, definitely.
Start off with our mimosas.
Yeah, you can't have good philosophical conversation without drinking.
And this is with peach. Peach juice and champagne.
Fire. Okay. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, just hold on to it.
I'm gonna keep reaching over for it anyways.
Need it.
Okay. So, this idea of heaven and hell, I've just been thinking about it a lot, right? So I'm thinking, like, I'm gonna define it as a level of consciousness. Which conscious state are you living in? So the way I'm looking at it, the way I see it, is like heaven can exist in your present moment, or hell can exist in your present moment. Which one are you experiencing? And really assessing that.
So it's not so much as like just this thing that happens when you die, where you go heaven or hell. It's not just something that it's going to happen like when you die, but as it's really something that's happening currently to you at all times, is living in a state of heaven or hell.
Yeah, because we really don't know what's going to happen after like we die, but I think like staying in a conscious state of like happiness, joy, peace, like that's what's going to maintain a flow of goodness in your life. And so that's why I wanted to talk about that in this video. So we're going to share some tips with you guys. I do have notes because I don't want to get off on a tangent, because knowing me, I can just talk for days. So let's talk about heaven, which is, I consider, the love vibration. Ashley, tell me a little bit about what the love vibration is.
Yeah, so in science and spirituality and different philosophical concepts, there are laws that the universe is governed by, the universe being outside of this world is governed by, and then the laws that we're also governed by here on Earth. So you have a few different laws that come into play. So you have like the law of attraction, which I know you guys have probably heard of. And if you're watching this video, you probably watched a million law of attraction videos at the same time. But the one I don't think that gets talked about a lot is the law of vibration. And the law of vibration is like the first law, and then the law of attraction comes second. So really the law of attraction needs the law of vibration in order for it to really function properly. So the law of vibration states that everything is in motion, in a constant state of motion. It's always vibrating, and the speed at which it vibrates is called frequency. So everything vibrates, even from this wooden table that's over here that has a vibration. It's a very low vibration. It's very solid and stable and steel, but it still vibrates at a very low level. Our bodies vibrate at high levels. Our spiritual bodies vibrate, animals vibrate, everything vibrates. Plants, which is why they say eat plants, drink juices, because those are living things that vibrate. So basically consuming high vibratory foods can raise your vibration. I think that's where that comes from. So vibration is everything. And so the rate at which you kind of vibrate, high or low, will allow you to attract things. So if you vibrate at a very low frequency, you're going to attract low frequency things into your life. You're going to attract low frequency people and situations and things. You're going to attract the things that you do not want to attract. If you vibrate at a high level, then you'll attract people, things, and experiences that are high vibratory. So vibration and attraction go hand in hand. And so basically, if you want to attract, or you want to live in a state of peace and love, you're going to want to vibrate at the frequency that peace and love vibrate at. And peace and love, I mean, love is at the very top. Love is where God is. That's where heaven is.
That's heaven. That's
the highest vibration you could reach. So you always want to be in a constant state of that vibration, so you're always attracting positive things into your life. So that's vibrations in a nutshell.
Vibrational universe 101.
Vibration 101.
So I think that's a great foundation to talk about, like understanding what frequency that you're in. And actually that was like a really good layout of understanding frequency. And so that's a question to ask yourself, like, where am I in my journey? Am I living in a peaceful state? Am I living in a state of love? and peace and are good things attracting to me? Am I in that type of flow?
And I want to add really quick, because I just mentioned like our bodies vibrate, but I didn't mention like our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs,
Thought vibration.
all of that has a vibration.
Yes.
And then whatever your thoughts and beliefs are, it's going to set your frequency at a certain level. So if you have great positive thinking, you're going to have, your body is going to be in a high vibratory state to be able to attract positive things into your life. And same, if you have negative thinking and beliefs, then you're basically setting the course to attract negative situations into your life. So
that's a great point. So you could attune your machine to the frequency that you want it to be at.
It's on the thoughts and beliefs.
All in your thoughts, the thoughts that you're allowing in, what you're watching, what you're listening to, those are all vibrations that set your frequency. So I think like listening to music, and I love listening to all kinds of music or watching all kinds of TV shows, but you do have to be conscious of the vibration, the frequency that you're attuning yourself to.
Oh yeah, you listen to rap, and especially there are certain musics that are always tuned to a lower frequency. So even if it sounds great, it could still be a low vibration, and it's going to affect you negatively. So then you're going to start thinking negative thoughts. It's going to make you depressed. And so you're listening to, low vibration music, and now you wonder why you're angry and fighting with your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend.
Irritated for no reason. I'm just mad. I don't know why.
Maybe look at the things you're consuming. Maybe you switch your music. Listen to something that's more high vibrational. Exercise. Eat more foods that are high vibrational.
Have you tried the frequency music, like the sound frequencies?
Oh, like the binaural beats and all that stuff. Yeah.
Those help.
And they even have like the actual frequency that the music is attuned to.
It tells you.
My favorite song, and I didn't even know why it was my favorite song for a long time, but it's Vibing Out by FKJ. Oh my gosh. Turns out like the actual frequency the music is set to is actually very high vibrational. It's up there in vibration. The vibration of love and stuff.
That's so it's intentional. He's intentionally playing high vibrational music.
Yeah, he intentionally sets his instruments to a higher frequency.
Doesn't like Janae Aoki do the same thing?
Aiko?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Janae. Yeah, her music is high vibrational too. That's why you just feel good. Like Londrell, like, oh my gosh. I mean, Londrell is just like a alien magical being. Like, I don't know.
With magical music. Vibration, and just a two different vibration.
Yes.
So like speaking of like heaven and love vibration, that opposite duality to heaven and love is obviously hell. So what does that like look like when you get into like a vibration of hell? Not just, like the conscious level, like you're like, I don't know nothing about that. I just stay in the heaven vibration.
Just like in heaven. But no, I'm not always in the heaven vibration at all. But I think it's kind of like as above, so below. So like we're literally pieces of God, kind of just like you have pieces of God, which is our spirit. And our spirit's kind of encapsulated in this mushy physical three-dimensional body machine on this little three-dimensional earth. But literally when we die, we're going to be spiritual energetic beings that kind of go back to that realm of heaven or hell, whatever you believe. But we are literally a piece of God. That's why
we're God manifestations.
And what did Erykah Badu say in that song?
We are God's
we were made in his image, they call us by our name.
Yes.
She's basically telling you that you're God, like you're a piece of God, kind of come down to this human realm. But I mean, not that you're the big God, but you're a little piece of God.
I love that. And I think too, look, like when you think of like people being manifestations of God, like you can also look at others as like they are also manifestations of God on earth.
Yeah, that's why we're creating. That's why we've taken this earth that used to be just like grass and trees, and we've built buildings and technology and airplanes that fly and things that we imagine. We're like, we can create.
We're creators.
I
love that. See, and that's what he said in the beginning. Let us make man in our image.
Yeah, exactly.
And he did. We're creators.
I was going somewhere with this thing though, this whole story. Okay, so we start off as the spiritual beings.
Okay.
And we're in the physical dimension, but however, we're still spirits of God.
Okay.
So, what was the question? I still forgot.
We're talking about like being like, okay, so there's a heaven, that love vibration, and then there's the hell vibration, and like how, you know,
as above, so below is where I was going with it. So like, I imagine, again, I'm not there, but what I've studied from like past life regressions or near-death experiences, people all kind of have like the same consensus that in that heavenly realm, it works that the vibrations work there too. Whereas like God is kind of like exists in that highest vibration, and then hell will be that lowest vibration, where all the demonic entities kind of live and the low vibrational entities live. So I believe that kind of replicates itself when we come to earth. It's like we're creators, and we vibrate just like we do in spirit. And so we're able to create either heavenly experiences or hellish experiences for ourselves. Like, depending on our vibratory state, we will literally create a heaven experience or a hell experience. And it doesn't mean that, like, even because I know you said like I kind of like live in that heavenly state all the time, and I really don't, because like last month I feel like I was in hell.
It's like I think we go in and out.
We go in and out.
Nobody is always in the same vibration. It's like, because we're always vibrating, frequencies shift and change. Like, you're hitting different points in your life, and you have to, I think this point too is like, you can't just always be in a good vibration, because you have to learn lessons of the lower vibration.
Yeah, that's where you actually learn the lessons. Like, if you don't have trials and tribulations, then how are you gonna
evolve?
How are you gonna evolve? I mean, a sword is forged in the fire. Like, it's forged in the heat. That's where it gets sharp. So we have to have those trials and tribulations. That's why we come to earth, is to have trials and tribulations, so that we could be stronger spiritual beings.
For the experience.
We come for the experience. And so yeah, I dealt with like a lot of anxiety, a lot of external situations that happened to me last month that put me in hell. And I allowed my vibratory state to stay there for a while, and I allowed my thoughts to become negative. I allowed my thoughts and beliefs to become negative for a while, and it literally felt like I was in hell. And it was only until I made the decision to switch what I was saying to myself and switch my thinking. And I was like, you know what, Ashley, like, if you're gonna get out of this, it's gonna first start with your thoughts and your beliefs and your energy. Work on yourself first. And then from there, once I pulled myself into a high vibratory state through my meditation, my self-care, then I was able to start to change the things that were affecting me and putting me in that hellish state, to where I was able to switch those, and I was able to get out of that state and put myself into heaven. And so,
I love that.
I haven't even I would say my situation is not all the way fixed yet. However, my mindset and my thinking and the things I'm doing are coming from a more high vibration. So I'm able to be more blissful and happy and at peace in the midst of the chaos.
I love what you just said. Okay, so tell me some practical things that you do. Like, practical things, like you have mentioned some things, like getting yourself into a better state. Like, what are some practical things that like someone can do to raise their state of consciousness to be in a better state mentally?
Switching thoughts. So a lot of my thoughts are that I have like anxiety from past experiences, like with the recession. So I have very like scarcity mindset that I have to be careful of. Especially with talks of the recession on the news and stuff, it triggers that to where I'm like, oh my gosh, there's not going to be enough money, there's not enough resources, there's not enough water out here in Vegas.
There's a drought.
We're gonna starve and then die of water starvation. Like, I don't know, my thoughts just can't go there. But it's about switching, and it's, I switch my thoughts now immediately to where I'm saying like, no, I have enough, and I'm smart enough to figure out ways to thrive in the midst of a recession. Like, I can be creative and I can create businesses that are recession proof. Now my vibration has shifted, and now I'm thinking of ways that I can manifest and make money, or put myself in a better state in the midst of the chaos. But it's about changing the negative thought into a positive thought.
So you can shift your reality
just like that. You take that negative thought that comes into your head, and you're like, oh no, like, instead of something, oh, I don't have enough money. Like, no, I have enough money and I'm manifesting more money.
Yes.
Yeah. And
it's unlimited.
It's unlimited. And I thought when I did that, I'm starting to get money just like randomly, like through just random, just not expecting it. Like just more money is now coming to me because I'm in that state of like wanting to receive money. What about you?
I love it. I have I always talk about this as my morning routine, and that's how I attune my machine every single day. So I have like certain things that I do on a daily basis.
You're really good at routines.
And then once I get off, like lately, I had fell off of my routine, and I started to just get into the day, and I could just sense and feel myself being off balance, and it was like, okay, I need to go back to like journaling and meditating and like really attuning myself before I jump into the day. So I do a lot of stuff like, and it's all from mental. Like it all helps with my thought process and like how I'm seeing the world. Reading is another thing that has helped me to attune my thought process because I have old thought patterns that I have been programmed with, you know, and they just come up and I think like in a lack or different things like that. I'm like, oh, there's not enough, or oh, I need to make more money, or like these different things that come up. And then like when I read, if I read a book like that's about abundance or about creating wealth, and it's a positive way of thinking about it, about thinking about money or material, anything, it helps me to tune my mind to the right thought process instead of going back to my old patterns.
Yeah.
But it's a work. Like it's like you can do so much work on your thought patterns and then like shift right back into an old thought pattern and you're like, oh, here I am again. Thinking these thoughts again. And it's like it's a constant work, I think.
And I think creating boundaries too, because sometimes you could be in a high vibratory state and then somebody will call and they'll give you the scarcity saying, or they'll say something that puts you in like
it just pulls you right in.
But you gotta be like, oh yes, okay, I hear you. Oh yeah, that sucks. Okay, you know what? I gotta go.
That's not my reality.
It's not my reality. Like, oh yeah, constantly having to get off the phone. Like, okay, bye.
Mental boundaries.
Setting mental boundaries.
Because everyone really is living in their own mental like space. They're living their own world, their own state of consciousness, and if someone else is in a place that you're not in, it doesn't mean that just because, you know, like you don't have to get pulled into everyone else's reality. Like this is your reality. You control it. You set the boundaries for it. And I think that was my work, learning like this, I can't just jump into everybody else's world and feel like this is, this is me too. Like, no.
That's your reality. That's not mine. Like, I'm in heaven over here. I don't know what kind of hellish situation you're creating over there, but you can stay over there.
Yeah, I can, yes. So, we talked about I want to talk about balance and finding that balance in creating, because we're creators. So I get stagnated sometimes in my creations and what I'm trying to put out and do. And sometimes I'm in a state where I'm like, I'm in this good feeling and I want to create and I want things to flow. When do you feel like taking action is the right step for you? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, do you ever like flow, like things attract to you when you're in a good vibration and you're high frequency, things that you want just kind of flow into your reality. And I've experienced that where I'm just like, okay, I got everything I need. But when do you as a creator start like actively putting into place the pieces that need to be put into place so that you can start like that alignment, that aligned action? Like, how do you know when to take aligned action is the question I'm trying to ask. I don't know if does that make sense?
It kind of makes sense. Yeah. Like
I'm all over the place,
I'm thinking about like last month too. Cause like when I was like more in like coming from like an anxious space and my vibration wasn't really that high, I was still trying to create. But I was creating from a space of like maybe desperation or like, like I was creating, I don't know.
Out of scarcity or like survival mode. Yes, and I don't want to work in that space. No. I feel like that's like gonna make me run uphill.
Yeah, run uphill.
How do you get to like going downhill?
Then you might start creating things that not even align with your purpose because you're not tuned in anymore. You're not listening.
Yes.
You're just creating something
to make something happen.
To make something happen that might not even be in alignment. So, and then plus I feel like I was getting burned out a lot. I felt like I was overworking myself. I was like working until like 11, 12 at night, pushing myself harder than I should have, past exhaustion, all that stuff. But I notice now I'm creating, but I'm more balanced. So I'm more like, okay, I'm going to work until 8. And now that sometimes I'll work until 5, or maybe I won't work at all that day. But I'll work until I feel tired and I feel like, okay, I've used all my creative energy, and then I'll focus on like replenishing. So then I'll go eat, I'll take my dogs on the walk, or go to a movie, or drink, or, you know, I'll just have fun. Like I'll do something that completely disconnects. Yeah, so I can recharge and then rebuild my creative force again to where I can start to create again.
Dope.
And when I create from like a high vibration, then I'm constantly listening. I'm like, okay, does this idea, you think this idea is going to work? Or I'm constantly trying to check in and meditate and figure out how to align and not, you know, and create from a place of alignment versus the other way.
Just like turning your will.
Turning my will, yeah. And it keeps me from like feeling burned out. It keeps me like having fun, like I have fun with it, as opposed to being stressed and not enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I'm creating the same thing. I mean, last month I was creating the same thing I'm creating now. Some things have changed, but it's just different energy surrounding it.
Interesting. So you feel like you're in a state of flow?
Yeah, a state of flow, and I'm like really enjoying it. I haven't gotten burned out yet.
She said something key.
What did I say?
You're really enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it.
You're really enjoying it. Like, I think that's the key.
Yeah, that's the key. Is to really
enjoying what you do.
Balance, peace. Yeah, I have like a lot more positive, high vibration emotions towards it. Doing the same thing that was burning me out last month.
Interesting.
It's weird.
So it was like a mental shift, and it was also finding balance with self-care, like things that you love to do, things that like recharge you. So we're like batteries, I guess.
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
But it's like we have an infinite amount of energy that we could tap into, but we have to replenish that energy. So like when you get exhausted, which I've experienced burnout a lot, and when I burn out, I tap out. I'm like, I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
I don't want to do nothing.
Nothing.
But it's about recharging that battery, so you have that energized excitement and that enjoyment again. I love it.
Yeah,
it's good.
I think there are some people that can actually create all the time consistently. I'm just not one of those people.
Me neither.
I'm just not. I admire them. The ones that get on and make content every single day, rain or shine.
Worked 12 hours a day.
12-hour days.
And another 12 hours after.
Don't take their vacation every year, or don't go any, you know, like they just work all year, no days off. Like, I don't know. Those people do exist, and I applaud you.
Special. They're so special.
I work in phases. I'm not even gonna sign up. I can't even make my creative process around doing something every day. I can't say like, oh, I'm gonna commit to making one post on Instagram once a day and then 2 stories a day.
Every time I say that, it's like I'm setting myself up for failure, because I'll be like, I'm gonna do it every day, and then like the next day I'm like,
and then I feel like I failed. But maybe that's just not my plan. Maybe I'm meant to create in other ways.
You get inspired creation.
Yeah.
You like to take aligned action.
Aligned action, yeah. And I can sustain that, but doing something just to do it, just because I'm supposed to do it, it's not gonna work for me. So I gotta be also realistic about my creativity, my creative limits and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, I think I'm the same way. I definitely need to be inspired to do things, you know, to take action. If I'm not inspired, it's just not the same flow state. Like, it's just kind of dull. So I have to be inspired. I do have to do a lot of self-care to get myself pumped up to like continue going. I go through my moments like where I just need to rest. And I think taking that time to rest and not feeling guilty about it is very important for me. Because I used to feel really guilty about wanting to like take breaks or rest, and I'm like, no, like you need that. That's how you recharge, so that you can be effective in your work and what you do every day. So, yeah, I'm not a worker bee though.
No,
but I get work done.
Yeah, I get work done, and I'm constantly manifesting things.
Yeah.
I know that'll be important in a future video for sure.
That's a good topic. That's a whole nother topic right there.
Yeah, that's another topic that we
future content coming.
Yeah.
I.e. human design.
Yes.
Operating in your human design coming soon.
Knowing your vessel.
Knowing how it works, you know. Stay tuned. So I'm thinking about just when we get advice on how to live our lives. That's another point that I wanted to make. I think sometimes we get stuck in someone else's reality of what they want us to do or what they expect of us, or what society's standard of like success and happiness and who's doing the best. And it's not a reality that is for you. So I think it's important for you to take the time to learn what works for you, like what reality you want to be in. Like I was just telling you, someone may love the idea of living out on a farm and like cultivating and growing things,
and
but to another
heaven.
Person, that's heaven for someone. But for another person, that might be like hell for them. Like, oh no, I don't want to be out there growing things.
No.
So it's like finding your heaven with the things that you're good at, what you love to do, and being able to define that for yourself and not let anyone else define what is great or successful in your world.
Yeah, I think we come here for a purpose. Like we all have purposes that we're here. And I don't necessarily believe that people on the outside know what your purpose is. I mean, unless you tell them, but nobody knows what God
Even then,
put
they're
you.
not going to
I
understand
know, they're not going to
your
understand.
purpose.
Like, yeah, they may be able to, I don't know, guide you a little bit, but nobody really understands your purpose but you. And God, and kind of like what you come down here for.
Your vision.
Yeah, your vision. So I think people have this expectation, or they think, oh, I think this is what'll be best for her, and it's not. They don't know. They don't understand what you're here for, and what they want for you may not be aligned with your goals. So if you listen to them, it could put you on a path that's separate from your purpose, and that'll put you in a state of hell. And so you really can't listen to people when it comes to that, because yeah, I think to reach like that heavenly state to where you're feel like, that heavenly vibration, you have to be like pursuing your purpose, and you have to be in alignment with your purpose. But that's typically going to be against what somebody else thinks what's best for you, basically. If that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. You got to bring your own heaven down into your reality.
Yeah.
What is that for you?
Forget what everybody else says or thinks. Even the people closest to you.
That's hard though.
It is
like, it
hard.
sounds so good when you say it. I'm like, yeah, but it's like, that's challenging.
It is. And I've had somebody close recently kind of voice like what they think my life should be and what they want for me. And I was just like, I was like, okay, I don't know. I think I just got to a state where it's like, cool, that's what you think, that's fine. I don't really care. I'm not gonna do that. Because I'm like, you don't understand. Like, there's so many layers to me that it's just like, you can't even, I would have to explain too much of myself for you to understand. And even then, you won't. So
that's exhausting to have to explain yourself and like your plans and like get people to buy into your.
I'm not to let nobody, I don't care if you buy into my plan. You're not gonna know the plan. You're just gonna
You'll
see it.
You'll see it. You'll see it manifest, and then you can judge it from there.
But yeah, if you don't understand at this point, I'm not gonna explain it to you. You'll just have to see when
you missed the bus. That's okay.
Like I know my life probably looks crazy to you. You don't understand it. It's not something you would do, but hey, I'm happy. Yeah. I'm in a state of bliss, and I don't know. My uncle once told me, because I used to live by the expectations of like my family and stuff, and my uncle gave me information that kind of like freed me years ago. Because I stayed in California to go to school because I didn't want to leave my family. Like I made a lot of, I never wanted to hurt them or them to be disappointed in me. So I always made decisions based on how they would feel and how they would react.
Yeah.
And then my uncle was like, well, if they're not sleeping in your bed at night and cuddling with you and paying your bills, that's what they think. And I was like,
facts though. You're like, oh.
I was like, really? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that was it.
I mean, that's the realest thing that he could have told you. Is like, yo.
That freed me. I didn't even think that was possible. I thought I had to listen.
Yeah.
I thought I had to do what I was told. I was a very obedient child. Never snuck out or anything.
Never snuck out not one time?
No, have you?
My mom watches this channel.
Yes.
I mean, I was obedient too, but I was also very adventurous.
I was very scared. Cause my mom, she would be like, oh, Ashley, I'll be home at 5 today. And then I'll be like, okay. And then like 20 minutes later, she'll pull around the corner like she would trick me.
She was trying to get you?
So she would lie about the time she was coming home so that I wouldn't get like comfortable.
You didn't do nothing. You didn't do nothing when you were...
I mean, when I lived with my grandparents, it was a different story because my grandpa would give me updates on he would be coming home and stuff. So I was able to be a little more free. My grandparents, because they were a little bit more predictable. My mom knows. She wasn't a joke.
I'm the opposite. When I lived with my mom, I was like, she gotta work all the time. I'm gonna be doing what I want to do. When I moved with my grandma, she was on a schedule. She was predictable, but she was very like attentive to like calls from the school. Like if I like didn't go to class, she knew away. Like because I missed a couple classes. Because I was.
Well, how about this? My grandfather was on the school board.
Oh.
Yeah, my grandfather's name was
there was a
plaque on the wall with my grandfather's name at my high school. Oh. And so I did ditch and I got caught. And I went to the principal's office with me and another guy. I didn't know the guy. It was just another guy that got caught ditching too. And so she called his mom and she was being mean. I mean, I was like, "Oh, lady, you are scary." I was scared of her. She went hard on him. And then she looked at my record and she was like, "Your grandfather is so-and-so?" I was like, She called him. She was like, "Such and such. I have your granddaughter in here. She did ditch, but she's an angel. She's only done this one time, so don't be hard on her."
Lucky.
She was so sweet to me.
That one time I ditched, and I don't even know if anyone found out. I got in trouble. I got brought to the principal's office and everything, and like I think my mom found out later, but like it was on a voicemail that never got heard.
Perfect.
And so I went home. I was like,
"Did you delete it or you just?"
Honestly, I don't even know. Like we never checked our voicemails.
Oh, okay. See,
and my mom wasn't home because she's at work.
My kids will get away with some stuff because I don't check my voicemails now. So
I don't check mine either.
They get away with everything.
Yeah, but my grandma, she stayed by the phone. Like she would catch everything. She'd be like, "Where were you?"
Oh, I know. If we called my grandparents, they would know.
She checks her voicemails, but
even now, my grandma's able to track me, so she knows where I'm at all the time.
Where are you going? That's so far.
You're driving too fast.
Well, I think that this is a great conversation, and like just the last talking point, test everything. We all grew up with different rules, different ways of living, and I think that those things are foundational for us, but be open-minded, explore, think for yourself, test out everything, try new things, see what works for you. Don't cut off things just because
what you're used to
of
or
tradition.
Tradition, yeah. Your path might be totally different from like how you're raised or something. Your purpose might be totally different. You might be out the box. You might be creating generational wealth that your family didn't even imagine that you could create.
Yeah. So like test it. See how it works for you. Like be open to it and see where it takes you. But thank you for joining us in this amazing conversation. Ashley, thank you so much for sharing some really good tips and helping to just expand the thoughts on
this is fun.
Vibration, consciousness. But yeah, till the next time. I'm not gonna promise and say that we're gonna do this all the time, because but for the next time, stay tuned. Hopefully, you guys tune in for the next videos.